Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, May 13. If you're watching live on Monday, May 13, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can watch us live on both Verizon and Optimum Cable TV. And within a few days, you can pick up an on-demand webcast of this meeting and past meetings at pctv76.org. Our next meeting is, we have a special meeting on Wednesday the 29th, because a regular meeting day would have been 27th Memorial Day, which is a meeting at 9 a.m. mostly to pass bills, and then we'll be back to a regular meeting schedule in June. So I have a raft of announcements to make, but more important than that, why don't we hold those for the moment, and I invite Chief Eric Grutzner to comment on some extraordinary service by two of our police officers and by a citizen of the Village of Pleasantville who is here tonight to be honored.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, Mr. Morrison. As many of you know, this is National Police Week. Police Week was created in 1962 by President Kennedy to honor those officers who have died in the line of duty, as well as to recognize meritorious acts by police officers in their work. Last week, the two officers who were involved in the incident we're about to discuss were recognized at the Westchester County Center for their actions in this particular incident. However, just as important are the opportunities to recognize those civilians who, although they have never sworn an oath or worn a badge, positively impact the lives of people around them with their brave and selfless acts. Tonight, it's my pleasure to have the opportunity to recognize police officers Pat Leone and Jonathan Smith, as well as Garrett Carney, a lifelong Pleasantville resident, for their actions in saving a young woman's life a few months ago. On November 25th, 2018, at approximately 2:35 p.m., the Pleasantville Police Department received multiple 911 calls regarding a person on the railing on the south side of the Manville Road Railroad Bridge. Police officers Leone and Smith responded and saw a young woman straddling the railing of the bridge, speaking to a young man. That young man was Garrett Carney. Mr. Carney has since stated that as he passed the woman, he knew that she was in crisis. He recognized this situation, and instead of going on with his day or hoping that someone else would do something, Mr. Carney took the initiative to reach out to the woman and connect with her. This action may sound simple, but the recognition of the situation and the motivation to act revealed the best in Mr. Carney. When the officers arrived, Mr. Carney was holding the woman and keeping her talking until the help could get there. Both he and the woman were facing away from the responding officers. Officers in Leone and Smith were able to approach them without being noticed by the woman. They assessed the situation and knew that they could not risk letting her have a moment to react once she realized the police were there. Without speaking to one another, officers Leone and Smith raced to where the two people were standing and immediately grabbed her. Together, the three of them pulled her back to safety. Upon further investigation, the officers learned that the woman had been in town visiting family when she decided to take her own life. This was not merely a cry for help. She had fully intended on ending her life, even discarding her cell phone and identification prior to going on the bridge. I fully believe that the situation would have ended tragically if not for the actions of Mr. Carney, Officer Smith, and Leone. Officer Smith and Leone acted smartly with exemplary courage, determination, and commitment to the woman's safety by acting as they did without hesitation. In addition, I've spoken with police executives around the county, across the state, and around the country. It's abundantly clear that the number of calls for service to police for people in crisis is rising dramatically. We as a police department will continue to train and prepare for these calls, but sometimes the most important element for a successful resolution to these issues is not a well-trained officer, but another person willing to reach out and care for a stranger. So if I could ask Mr. Carney and Officer Smith and Leone to come forward. Mr. Mayor, if you have something.
As the chief has stated so well, these are the moments you're proud to live in Pleasantville, New York. Not only proud to have such fine officers and folks who rise to the occasion on short notice or no notice, but to think this incident would very likely have been very different had it not been for the actions of you, Garrett, so nice to be able to honor you for having stepped out of your comfort zone to do the right thing, and so nice to have so many members of this family that has such deep roots in this good place. So let me ask you to come forward, Garrett. I have a certificate here that says, the Board of Trustees honors Garrett Carney, recognizing his selfless and courageous service on November 25th, 2018, when he assisted in preventing a suicide in the village of Pleasantville. Thank you, sir. And these two fine officers who serve us in so many ways not only provided great service to the community and to that young woman and to her family that day, but reminded us that in this mostly quiet place, in this mostly safe place, the line between everyday trouble and outright tragedy is frequently marked by the work of people like you. So it is our great pleasure to have you here. It is our great honor and the honor of everybody who lives in Pleasantville to think that the two of you were honored at the county center and by the county, and to see the three of you together reflects exactly what we hope and what we so often see with our police department is this synergy between everyday folks who need help, who can offer help, and highly trained officers who can provide it. So thank you so much. A very special thing happened that day, and it's a special night today to say thank you as a result.
How are you? Good, good. Elizabeth's in Ireland. She's been here for a year. We're going to go next week and see her in a year. She's a junior in college. She's home for the summer. And Catherine is just finishing up her freshman year at Carnegie Mellon at Pittsburgh. So Victoria's a sophomore in high school. And she's doing great. She's doing great. It's so nice to see you. I'm going to tell them. Emil, Victoria might be watching tonight. She's going to watch tonight. So I don't know.
Okay. Give them all my love.
I will. Thank you.
Tell them because of kids like that, I still continue doing what I do. And I love
Grandson,
it.
he's a big boy.
Yeah, he is.
She lives Pleasant Hill Nursery School is in the Methodist Church.
What's the Methodist Church?
Where Mrs. Carney lives behind there on Guyon Street. And so my kids went there and they had her and after the nursery school, she ran a cooking class out of her house. Thank you.
Thank
She ran a
you.
cooking class out of her house, so she would take, 3-4 kids, and it was like $20 a copy or whatever, and they would cookies or make something. So she ran a cooking class. She was great. I loved her. Yeah. Thank you. My kids were loved.
Thank you, Chief.
Good night.
Good night.
guys.
I'll talk to you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Nice work.
It will be hard to top that, but we'll return to the regular course of business. I had a bunch of announcements and a few comments to make. The first is, this past week I had the pleasure of attending, as I sometimes do, the 4th grade Revolutionary War Day held at Soldiers and Sailors. And I think comment needs to be made about this day by Sergeant Major?
Sergeant Major.
Sergeant
yes.
Major Lord. I have a picture, I won't show it.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Can you explain what
Sure.
goes on?
So
It's a
every
great
year,
day.
this time of year, the 4th grade at BRS comes over and does a Living History Day in which they reenact a Revolutionary War encampment. The children are divided, each class is a company, and they march over. They learn all about the revolution prior to this, and then they march over and they come to Soldiers and Sailors Field, where they are allocated across a bunch of different centers or sections and learn different skills. They learn to build a tent, they learn about Revolutionary War dressing, about food, about building barricades, and they learn from me drilling and facing movements and how to salute and do sorts of
By
soldierly
my
things
observation,
like that.
they learn.
And then we rally them all back up again. They are a significantly different group leaving the field than they are coming onto it. I think a lot of people have a tremendous amount of fun, and I think it's a signature experience for most of the kids. It's one of the things they remember about BRS is Revolutionary War Day. So I'm always very honored and very humbled to be part of it.
Well, it was a great day, and I had reason to think I might see you there because I know you've done it in the past, but
Yes,
you're good at it. So thank you.
it was a lot of fun.
Thank
It's
you,
every year.
and thanks to the fourth grade team and to the many parents who were involved
Yes,
in organizing that
huge
whole
number
thing.
of volunteers, which is great.
Including, and no names mentioned, but
Yeah, because two of us will have kids doing this
You're
next year.
quite a
so
bunch
you're
of-
gonna be
You
there.
both will have fourth graders
You
next
have
year?
to, because
Oh, no.
a child of mine had the stomach flu last year when he was
Oh,
in
that's
fourth grade.
right.
It
That's
was,
right, he
it
couldn't
was a
make it.
tragedy.
yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Counting.
All right, maybe
Well-
well,
On the
maybe I have one
record,
more
he
year
has to
left
come
in me
back.
then.
It was a great day. So reminds us of so many good things that happen at the school district. So
Yeah.
a bunch of events, and the first is taking place just the day after tomorrow, Wednesday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. The man behind the camera will be in front of the camera at the ribbon cutting for the new PCTV studio. If you have paid attention to our discussions of this over the last few months, PCTV, which once existed in leased space on Jackson Alley, now has moved to a village-owned building, the former Water Department pump house on Lake Street on the right-hand side as you head up towards the pool. And with great assistance from Jeff Econom and his team at Public Works, Eric Brotherton, a local architect, and Shane and the entire crew of the PCTV board. On Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., there'll be a ribbon cutting and an opportunity to see what all of this has wrought. So I invite anyone who is able to come. Lake Street, the old pump house building, this Wednesday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Just a few days later, Pleasantville Day is ramping up this coming Saturday, May 18. Thanks to the folks at the Pleasantville Day organizing committee, it sounds like a great day. We are convinced that it will be good weather. I report that I will miss most of it because I have to attend a family graduation from Fordham. But all is lined up. Interesting rides, fun attractions, the usual good stuff, as well as many Pleasantville organizations that have tables. So, and sounds like from our discussion earlier in the evening in work session with the pedestrian committee, it'll be an opportunity for them to roll out their slow down, look up.
That's correct, and they will be passing out lawn signs for anyone who would like to be part of this movement to encourage people to walk and encourage both pedestrians and drivers to be aware of each other and to keep Pleasantville safer for everyone.
So you'll be hearing more about that, but the chairperson of this volunteer committee, Carrie Roberts, has been doing a great job, as has the entire crew. So more on that to come. Monday, May 27 is our annual Memorial Day service. Begins at 10 a.m. at the World War I monument in front of BRS. Parade down Bedford Road, and then the ceremonies continue at the war monuments down at Memorial Plaza. So Monday, May 27, we encourage everybody who can come to do so. Not only a great community event, but a moving event as well. So that same week, on Friday, May 31 at 7 p.m. is the annual Fire Department Parade, one of the great nights in the year for Pleasantville. Two things to report about that. This year kicks off the 125th anniversary year for the Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department, and so this 125th anniversary parade has a few extra special items, so we look forward to that. And also would like to shout out to the entire crew at the fire department, the Board of Commissioners, the chief staff, the officers, and all of the volunteer firefighters. I attended the annual inspection that they have had this past Saturday, and kudos to the new officers. Asterio Scapino, who has served really, really, really impressively for the last several years as the chief, has ended his term, although he put himself back in the rotation and will be chief again in a few years. The new chief is Stefan Zaplatel, Pleasantville resident for many, many years, a distinguished young man who is now the chief of the fire department. First assistant chief, moving up from second, is Madison Martineau, also a Pleasantville product. Painful to me to realize that people who went to school with my children are now
the fire chiefs.
But we'll skip that, the march of time. And then, as mentioned, Asterio Scapino, just leaving the post as chief, has signed on again as second assistant chief, which puts him back in the rotation in these 2-year cycles, and he'll be chief again in a few years. His son is also a member of the volunteer fire department, and I encouraged him to follow in his father's footsteps and one day become the chief as well. So just a really, really, really great night, an impressive bunch of folks. Happy report that they've had some new volunteers join lately, but shout out to anyone in the village who's interested in helping out in any way, both as a firefighter, and there are also other kinds of tasks that the department could put you to. So get yourself in touch with the fire department if that's of interest. Pleasantville Music Festival ramping up for Saturday, July 13. The lineup has been posted and it's out. Get yourself to pleasantvillemusicfestival.com. You can buy tickets online. You can buy tickets at the rec department and save the transaction fees. We very, very, very much encourage you to do that early. Not only can you save a little money, but you'll save the lines. It looks like a great day. Pool and day camp registration is up and running. Extra hours you can find on our website, pleasantville-ny.gov. Information about both the pool and the day camp. They ask that you register online before you come, so get yourself online to do that. I went a few nights back to the last meeting of the regular year before a summer break for the Westchester Municipal Officials Association, and because the first vice president, who would normally have become the vice president, Steve Eklund, mayor of Tuckahoe, made the decision not to run for mayor again. That elevated me directly from second vice president to become president of WMOA for the coming year. So I am happy to take that on, and hopeful that Pleasantville's interests can get a little more attention from the county and the state with that. And then on sad notes, we obviously don't often comment about the loss of Pleasantville residents, but two people, I think, rise to the occasion that I feel I would like to say something. And the first is Kevin Roberts, who is a much-loved figure in Pleasantville for many, many years, painted so many houses in this village, grew up here in Pleasantville. A raft of Roberts and Roberts relatives knit throughout this community. Died unexpectedly a couple of weeks ago, and he will be sorely, sorely missed. So our sympathies to everyone in the Roberts clan and all of its allied clans. A great loss for them and a loss for Pleasantville, but a guy who leaves an awful lot of good memories. And he was buried with military honors as a Vietnam veteran, a person who struggled mightily to process the experience he had in Vietnam, and in doing so, I think, illuminated those stories for lots of us. And then lastly, I wanted to comment that Dick Kirsten recently died. Dick served on this village board for 19 years. I think possibly the longest serving elected official in the history of Pleasantville. I'm not certain about that, but if he isn't actually the longest serving, it was pretty darn close. So Dick passed away last week after a long illness. There is a visitation at Beecher Fluke's Funeral Home this Friday from 2 to 4 if anyone was interested. But our condolences to Doris and to the entire family as we remember somebody who donated so much of his time to the village of Pleasantville, 19 years on the Board of Trustees. So, other comments, announcements?
Oh, I just wanted to commend the Pleasantville Garden Club who had their annual sale last Saturday. It's a terrific event, very much in the spirit of Pleasantville. You can get somebody who buys plants on it occasionally. You can get a really good deal there, but moreover, it's such a welcoming club and so full of knowledge. And to my delight, they did something new this year. They put together these pollinator paradise packages so that you could have sort of an instant butterfly garden. And they're promoting this new phenomenon called pollinator pathways, which is to actually mark through the neighborhoods in Pleasantville where people have plants that will benefit insects, which I, as a native plant geek, happen to know is actually something that's much more important than we may think, because it has repercussions for all of us. But anyway, just to say they did a fabulous job, and I think it was a big success.
Thank you for that. That gave me an opportunity just to double check, and I handed out slightly wrong information about the family visitation at Beecher Fluke's for former trustee Dick Kirsten. It is this coming Friday, May 17, first visitation from 2:30 to 4:30, second from 6 to 8. All right, then the last thing I wanted to mention was, as I alluded to in the announcements, we had a great presentation by Carrie Roberts' group, the volunteer group involved in pedestrian safety, and they provided a really interesting presentation. We're going to get that, a PDF of that up on our website at pleasantville-ny.gov. Not up there now, but will be soon. And lots of discussion about driver responsibility, about pedestrian responsibility, about physical improvements, about culture improvements, about enforcement improvements, about things we could do with crosswalks, about all kinds of aspects of trying to improve the safety conditions in an increasingly busy, time-stressed world. So, among other things, you'll hear more about that, and you'll also hear a plea from all of us to buy into what Nicole already described, the Slow Down, Look Up campaign. All right, with that, the resolutions. Nicole, you have the unhappy opportunity for Resolution 113.
Yes.
Authorization to levy unpaid water bills.
Not the greatest way to start. Okay, resolved, although it is short, that the Board of Trustees, in accordance with village law, certifies the amounts of unpaid water rents due from village property owners, and hereby authorizes the village treasurer to levy unpaid water rents to the 2019-2020 tax roll.
Is there a second?
Second.
Appended to that is a 6-page document indicating that there are about 176 accounts that are in arrears, some of them by very small amounts, but a few by significant amounts, totaling $94,863.30. We encourage folks to catch up with those water bills. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 114. Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the donation in the amount of $401.60 from Yasuhiko Watanabe. Am I getting that right? I hope so. For a tree planted at Nannyhagen Park in memory of Douglas MacDonald.
Is there a second?
Second.
Doug passed away recently, longtime resident here as well as a longtime volunteer. a figure on the Conservation Advisory Committee for many, many years, and a friend to many. Thank you so much for the donation. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 115, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the termination agreement with TNT Dining for the concession services at the village pool and payment to TNT Dining, Inc. for equipment acquisition and reimbursement of equipment service calls in the amount of $4,715, and further resolved that such termination agreement releases TNT from the final payment of $800 due for the 2018 pool season.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eric, you want to report the
Sure.
evolution of all of this?
Yep, so last year the village engaged TNT Dining in a 2-year concession contract. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, the owner came in to meet with the superintendent of recreation and I, and reported that his partner had left the company, and his partner actually was a manager for the concession. We said give him time, he might be able to put something together, but we thought it best just to move on. And you'll see in the next resolution, we're reaching out or have reached out and engaged with another concession company. But they did make a variety of upgrades to the concession, a new fryer, a better grill, and we have the new concessionaire come in and take a look at the equipment, say, yeah, this is what he needs. And so we worked out a deal. We had a discount because it was used equipment. We also credited back that $800 that's due to the village off that bill. They had a variety of service calls that they took to repair some equipment during holiday weekends. So we also took that into account. That would have otherwise been charged to the village. So we think this is a fair arrangement, and it sets up the concession for a new summer.
So I know that we dramatically improved the quality of the food last year over previous years.
Yes.
Do you have a sense of what's going to happen this summer?
So the concessionaire that's coming in was the one that had previously been at the pool with mixed reviews, as I understand it. The difference there is our superintendent has worked with this company in the past and has a very good relationship with the owner. We've passed on that input from our community. We've also told him some items that he should add to his menu. And he's agreed to do so. So it seems that just off the bat, we're kind of getting a different feedback and having a different relationship with this vendor as we've had in the past. So.
And as folks watching perhaps realize, Matt Trainer, our new Parks and Rec superintendent, has just arrived, and so he's a person with the relationship as Eric described. The reality here is that we have struggled on more than a few occasions to find an outfit that could provide high quality stuff, but provided under the rather uncertain business conditions that the job reflects. It's a short season. It's hard to hire people to run it. It's highly weather dependent. You're required to keep it open even in conditions when there aren't too many people at the pool, and people have high expectations for quality, as well they should, but not quite as high expectations for price, because after all, pool snack food is typically relatively inexpensive. So all of those things have collided several times, and we've been struggling to find a long-term solution. Hopefully Westchester Food Service, as you'll see shortly, will rise to the occasion. I think we'll end up with a menu that looks to be good. It will not be as elaborate as we had in the past, but I would also say, with respect for TNT Dining, those guys really put a lot into it last year, and struggled a bit to find the right balance, and it just reflects the fact that it's a little bit of a tough business, and not one that is of interest to lots of vendors. So
a lot of insurance requirements. You have to pay minimum wage prevailing rate, so that scares off a lot of vendors as well. So it's an epidemic. A lot of communities struggle to find these concessionaires. So we were lucky enough to be, we were told late in the game, and we're able to engage and get this thing off the ground. So
What's the chance that we could get a copy of the menu before the summer?
Oh yeah, we have a copy.
We have it?
Yeah.
Could you send it out?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the equipment good enough there, since it's been upgraded, for them to do something like seamless delivery as well to offset the bad weather loss of revenues?
I don't. It's worth talking to them about. I don't
mean,
know
the
if they have the
equipment is pretty good at this
capacity.
point. I mean, I will say that the village had not invested in that kitchen for quite a
Is
while,
that-
and we made some significant improvements last year and the year before, and now this additional equipment as well. I think from an equipment standpoint, we're in pretty good shape.
A lot of kitchens have sort of sprang up
Yeah.
that are just in warehouses now that only serve delivery.
Wow.
You know, Seamless being obviously
Yep.
the biggest one, but there's others.
I will also say that this job also involves providing lunches for day camp kids who choose to buy the day camp lunch.
Right.
And so at least that's a nice chunk of business that folks can expect. So another reason why it's really helpful for us if folks sign up, they join the pool, they use it, and support the food service up there too, because more folks, more business, more activity makes it easier for us to raise the bar. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. 116. Nicole? No.
Me.
David? Right.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the pool concession stand agreement with Westchester Food Service for the 2019 pool season.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, I think
There we are.
already been described.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 117. Nicole?
Resolved,
Pool.
Yes.
All the day.
resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the pool maintenance agreement with Nuclear for the 2019 pool season.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eric, you want to describe this? This is a new player for us, right?
Yep. So in the past, we've used Mount Kisco Pool, and so this is a service that we use for chemical deliveries. When we have repairs or emergency work that needs to be done, they have the expertise. So Matt Trainer had a relationship with Nuclear from the town of North Castle, had a very good experience with them, and they're eager to take on the village as a client. So. We think the pricing is better. We think they'll be more responsive. So we've decided to move on and go with Nuclear for the year.
Okay.
And I should also mention they help with summarizing the pool, getting it ready for the season, then winterizing as well. So
Okay,
it's
good.
an important service.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 118, Steve.
Hold on, as that's coming up. There we go. Resolved that the Board of, excuse me, cough drop. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to enter agreement with Fun Time Amusements for rides and amusements at the 2019 Pleasantville Music Festival. Excuse me while I cough.
Is there a second?
Second. Scratchy second.
So this is essentially no cost to us,
Correct.
but Fun Time comes and sets all this up, and then folks pay them directly for the rides.
And we actually get a percentage at the
Okay?
end of the day.
These are
of
the same guys as
sales.
every year, right?
Yeah. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 119. Joe?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves Maria Zuna Ortiz as an intern with the Village Justice Court from May 13, 2019 to June 14, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. David, 120.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Pleasantville Day Committee to close Memorial Plaza for the Pleasantville Day celebrations on Saturday, May 18, 2019, from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the police chief to post no parking signs effective Saturday, May 18, 2019, and to tow all vehicles in violation of this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
So hear ye, hear ye. First off, come to Pleasantville Day this coming Saturday, the 18th. And secondly, make sure your car is not in Memorial Plaza this Saturday, May 18th.
Walk to Pleasantville.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 121. Nicole?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Pleasantville Recreation Department to hold the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, 27, 2019 at 10 a.m. Said parade route to begin at the Bedford Road School, proceed down Bedford Road to the Memorial Plaza, concluding with a ceremony at the World War II Monument. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the police chief to post no parking signs along the parade route and in Memorial Plaza and to tow all vehicles violating this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
As already reported, we hope folks will turn out for the Memorial Day Parade. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 122.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees, in support of the Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department's annual parade on Friday, May 31st, 2019, authorizes that no parking signs will be posted with restrictions in effect for Friday, May 31st, 2019, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the following locations: Memorial Plaza, Romer Avenue to Bedford Road to Clinton Street, Clinton Street from Romer Avenue to Martling Avenue, Sunnyside Avenue from Bedford Road to Clinton Street. Should I just say as further contained in the record?
Why did you read them?
All
Every
right,
year
any-
there's
all right.
somebody who misses it.
Martling
That's why
Avenue
we're
from
putting
Bedford
it-
Road to
Yes.
Clinton Street, Guyon Street from Manville Road to Bedford Road, Orchard Street from Manville Road to Bedford Road, Bedford Road from Academy Street to Marble Avenue, Marble Avenue from Bedford Road to Manville Road, Manville Road from Marble Avenue to Grove Street, Manville Road from Grove Street to Great Oak Lane, Grove Street from Manville Road to Edgewood Avenue, Edgewood Avenue from Grove Street to Washington Avenue, Washington Avenue from Manville Road to Edgewood Avenue, and the parking spaces at the intersection of Manville Road and Rebecca Lane. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the police chief to tow all vehicles violating this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
So,
If you could follow all that at home, you are.
It's the parade route, ladies and gentlemen. Don't park on the parade route.
Right, that's it. It's the same streets
it
every
will
year.
all get posted, but every year there's somebody, or some years at least, there's somebody who ends up with their car trapped in the middle of
A lot of fire trucks.
every fire truck in
Westchester.
the United States. So, it's a great night, but honestly, if you just tuned into this section of the meeting, you would think, well, you can't park in Pleasantville for the month of May.
Forever.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 125th anniversary year for the Volunteer Fire Department. Come on out and show your respect and enjoy the parade. 123.
Before I read this, Noreen, can you take a look at that and tell me if there's some spelling
Yeah,
things
there's
in the
a-
middle of that shouldn't be there?
The hi.
That? I'm assuming I'm not going to read that.
In the resolution?
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the word
And
Sarles
124.
Lane.
There's the typo.
Also,
I'm sorry.
I was
So
gonna
I'm
read
going
the
to I'm going to
I,
read
hi,
it without
hi.
that.
No,
I'm looking
come on.
at a
It's in the
printout.
resolution.
Here's the clean text. Look at that one.
Just didn't know if that was something special.
No,
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Sarah Higgins, 107 Sarles Lane, to close Congress Street on Saturday, May 18, 2019, for the purpose of a block party from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
So that's a just one block, right? Between?
yes.
Yeah. Followed up by the block party street closing application. All in favor?
Aye.
Block party
Motion
season is
approved.
great. I love block party season. I do.
No, I won't.
Aye. 124. David.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Grace Bear, 43 Saratoga Avenue, to close Garrigan Avenue between Saratoga Avenue and Madison Avenue on Saturday, June 15, 2019, for the purpose of a block
Same
party
thing
from
again.
11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
Another great thing.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
I don't know what that one is.
Another block party.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 125. Nicole.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village to initiate membership in the Federated Conservationists of Westchester County, FCWC, and payment of annual dues.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those dues are quite modest, right?
Yeah, $50 for the CAC, Pleasantville Recycles,
Right.
the entire village. So it's a good resource for our committees.
They do a great job. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meeting held on April 25th, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
those minutes remind me that I failed to mention what I did mention at that previous meeting, and that is that our recycling committee last weekend did their annual collection of used sporting goods, and they bring them all to Pleasantville Day, where all this great stuff is free for the taking. All kinds of sports equipment of every sort, things your kids have grown out of, things your kids are growing into, balls, bats, clubs,
Bicycles.
cross sticks, bicycles, the whole 9 yards. Just one of the many good reasons to come to Pleasantville Day. Thanks to the recycling committee for doing the sports equipment swap. Any comments or corrections to the minutes otherwise? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 127. Joe?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the recreation summer camp resident fee rate for dependents of the village employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this would allow our village employees to enroll their kids in the day camp at a resident rate.
Correct, which is typical of other municipalities.
I think that's a great thing. Comments, questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 128. David?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of Raymond Mina and Jae-Sung Hwang as part-time in the job title Court Attendant, Job Class Code 0051 to serve in the Village Justice Court effective May 14, 2019 at a rate of $20 per hour.
Is there a second?
Second.
Replacing folks that had moved on?
And getting a bigger bench.
And the last person we appointed unfortunately had a decline
Oh,
after being offered, so this
Okay.
is,
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 129. Nicole?
Whereas sealed bids were advertised in the official village newspaper and received on May 1st, 2019 for summer camp bus services, and whereas bids were received as per the following: Royal Coach Lines for the amount of $60,402.50. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby awards the bid for summer camp bus services to Royal Coach Lines, Inc., 1010 Neperhan Avenue, Yonkers, New York, in the amount of $60,402.50.
Is there a second? So there's only one bid responded?
Only, and we went out twice. The first time just for summer camp bus services. The second time we also incorporated the travel camp. Same company bid both times. Chalk this up to doing the right thing and paying for it. We, in the past, have not gone out to bid, which does not follow our procurement protocol or New York State regulations, and came back at around $25,000. But you got to take into account that we are expanding the services by doing the travel camp. That is a significant amount of bus
30
needs.
some odd thousand more?
Yeah, well, so following protocol, and this is what came back.
So the public bid had more stuff attached to it, bonds and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, insurance requirements.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Well, we got to do the right thing.
Right.
So. All in
Exactly.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 130.
Me.
Steve.
Resolved that the following budget amendments are hereby approved as listed below. $52,465 from the contingent account, this is out of the general fund, to police overtime, and then $1,837 from a contingency account to the library 2018 audit account.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Just
Overtime?
Yeah, we had Officer Rotundo leave the department about mid-year this year, and we replaced him with a officer that needed to go to the academy.
Right, and he's at the academy now, right?
Correct, and so he'll be ready to go and count towards the minimum manpower by about June, July.
Okay.
So that's a direct result from that.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 131. Joe.
Resolved that the check register dated May 13, 2019 for fiscal year ending 2019, covering check numbers 93151 to 93338, are hereby approved as listed below from the general fund, the special purpose fund, the water fund, the capital fund, the refuse fund, and the trust fund, totaling $490,833.99.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions about the check register? I had one and I'm not finding it here. Yeah. It's a big number this time because we're paying the employee health premium.
Correct.
So, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 132.
Resolved that the check register dated May 13, 2019 for fiscal year 2020 covering check numbers 93339 to 93341 hereby approved is listed below. To the general fund, $15,451.60. Register attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is mostly music festival stuff,
Correct.
Cleanup.
Bands.
which is ascribed to the following fiscal year.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 133. Nicole.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following management salaries effective June 1st, 2019. Eric Grutzner, Police Chief, $172,434. Jeffrey Econom, Superintendent of Public Works, $165,170. Mary Schwartz, Village Treasurer, $160,315. Frederick Morrissey, Village Administrator, $132,925. I'm sorry, numbers. $132,925. It starts to look very abstract. Robert Hughes, Building Inspector, $114,985. Noreen Reagan, Administrative Aide, $112,475. Stephanie Tim Austin, Court Clerk, $84,442. Joni Ehrlich, Director of Senior Services, $74,647.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this reflects a 2 1/4% salary increase across the board. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 134.
Resolved that the-
Last one.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the financial statements ended March 31, 2019, and fiscal year ending 2020 operating budget for Pleasantville Community Television per PCTV service agreement dated June 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2021. And attached to the resolution is a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, year-to-date P&L, and the 2020 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
A couple of things to say there. First of which is thanks to everybody at the PCTV staff and board, but especially to Nick Antonaccio, who is the treasurer and who puts together what have become better and better reports, I think, every year. So thank you, Nick. Also, another opportunity to remind you that the new PCTV will have its ribbon cut this coming Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., May 15, up on Lake Street. Comments or questions about the PCTV budget? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Is there any new business or further announcements? Comments from the public? There is no public in the room, but they...
If they were here.
If you're watching, you could call us. We're lonely. All right.
Exactly.
Before I go ask for a motion to go into executive session, I just want to circle back to where we started, which is a very special thanks to our police officers, Leone and Smith, and to young man Garrett Carney, Pleasantville resident, the three of them responsible for saving the life of a distraught young woman who might otherwise have died on a day back in November. So not only an occasion to honor their good service, but to be reminded that the Bonza community run pretty deep, and it gets shown in moments like that. So is there a motion to go into executive session on matters of personnel and a legal matter?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening. Thank you all. We'll be back here at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, May 29, solely for the purpose of approving bills, and look forward to seeing you at Pleasantville Day this coming Saturday.